there, Vlad here. Welcome to CatPick Fridays, episode number 51. Yes, indeed, a weekly show that brings you latest and the greatest in guitar and music industry news. I'm Vlad, as I just mentioned, and once again, I'm joined by my co-host, the Black Clothes Ambassador, a man whose thumbnails break the laws of how many guitars people are actually able to hold, and a man who likes his guitars in all colors, whether it's blue, deep blue, or frost blue maybe as well. And we're obviously
like
talking about Richard. Exactly, like
Ocean blue
classic blue
candy
as well. We are absolutely, most definitely talking about Richard Morgan. Rich, now that we've reached the 1 year milestone, do you think this will be the last CatPick Fridays episode ever?
Unlikely, Vlad. Unlikely.
That is correct answer. Thank you.
Thank you. I really dread to think what could happen between now and next week that would force us to not do a 50-second episode.
That's true. That is very true. Like, let's hope that it will actually happen.
Fingers crossed we'll see you all next week.
Yes. Yeah, thanks for watching and listening. See you next time. Something like that. No, thank you so much for listening, liking, sharing, subscribing, watching. Something in that order. As always, CatPick Fridays is available both on YouTube or, and I'm going to click the magic button that shows us the wrong thing. There you go. CatPick Fridays, like, I did some tweaks and changes and finally put some effort to the podcast side of things, meaning that whether you search for CatPick Studios or CatPick Fridays on any of the podcast platforms, we're there. You can find us there. And it's kind of crazy to see that it's 55 episodes already. So there's few episodes of that Master the Basic series and then a bunch of CatPick Fridays over the past year. So yeah, that's cool. And also, I have to mention that we're going to take a little bit of time here at the beginning of the show to celebrate the 1 year anniversary because it's a big thing. And before we do that, I have to mention that there's a bunch of cool stuff we'll cover later in the show. If you're interested to check out those timestamps on YouTube, in the show notes, on podcast platforms as well, feel free to jump there. But obviously, if you're a true fan, you want to celebrate with us and chat a little bit of what it's been like doing the show for the first year. And yeah, in the recent happening section, we're going to talk about the Line 6 Catalyst, the new amp, which looks cool. Possible leak of Boss RE-2 Space Echo, which I like. Something about a Chrome Silver Sky guitar that was shown or seen on the Super Bowl, at the Super Bowl halftime show. Premier Guitar's Instagram was hacked. And we just checked, as of recording this video, it still hasn't been restored. So that's interesting. We're going to talk about that and just cybersecurity in general. Not that we're experts, but anyway. Gibson, Cantrell, acoustic guitars, Kiesel, Thomas McRockling, signature guitars, Fender, George Harrison, Rosewood, Telecaster, chambered guitar. So many signature guitars. Ibanez Custom Shop USA is celebrating their 50th anniversary and they released some crazy guitars we're going to check out as well. And then there's also a Universal Audio SD1 microphone, which looks a lot like the one I'm speaking to, like the one Rich has. And it's also called SD1, which then again sounds like a Boss pedal to me. So that's interesting. And it's very budget friendly. And then we can watch something that I love but haven't really talked about publicly that much. Some Japanese music and Charles Colmel analyzing that. So that will be fun. But let's start with CatPick Fridays celebrations. 1 year. This is episode 51, but technically we're at 50. Let's see. We released 4 summer episodes last summer. So we are at 55 episodes at this point. This
a lot
being
of episodes.
56th. Yeah, this is 56th technically. I kind of left those 4 out because they were like a bonus episodes, not like a regular content. But yeah, crazy. It's been a year since I came up with idea to make this happen, and here we are. Should we first check out a clip I prepared of how we actually make the CatPick Fridays happen? Or should we
Yeah, let's
first-
do that.
Yeah, let's do that first and then talk more in a second. Yep, much better. So, in early 2021, I had this idea to create a weekly show that would be, first of all, and that was one of the most important criteria, I would have fun producing. That was one criteria. Then it would be an interactive thing, so you, dear viewers and listeners, would be kind of part of the show. And also something that would be a bit more relaxed. So, not like an official demo of something or anything like that, but a relaxed atmosphere where like guitars and music and everything is kind of involved, but it is more a casual thing. I decided to try out and shoot different segments in different parts of our apartment first, which was fun, a bit labor intensive as well though. Pretty quickly I started thinking of maybe turning this into a podcast, and I think I did few CatPick Fridays kind of more podcasty versions of the show first, and then I just realized, hey, I should probably ask Rich to join me because we've been friends for many years. We love gear, we love music as well, which you use the gear for, I guess. That's how it all began. I think like it pretty quickly evolved from really weird looking camera angles we had for our show, and it was like, I think first few episodes we did were on Zoom, and then Rich would send his video files to me, his audio files, I would process it, everything, kind of glue it all together, and that was quite labor intensive for a while. Then I realized there's a thing called StreamYard, which allows you to bring in guests, share desktop, share videos, audio clips, and all of that kind of gets recorded into one file that you can, well, first of all, you can stream it on YouTube, for example, but also you can get like a fully recorded file and then just do some audio processing and put the whole thing out. And it just helps us to create a kind of visually appealing show as well, even though we try to keep it in a format where it's still kind of podcast ready or something like that. Like it works as a audio podcast as well. But if you're watching on YouTube, you also get all the visual goodness as well. And that has made a gigantic difference. Yeah, let me actually take you through it. So a typical CatPick Friday show starts by me going through different news sites and kind of cherry picking the best of all of those news and articles and things like that to create the most interesting and best show we can. And we try to structure the topics in a way where if something's kind of linked together, like similar amps were released, or like last week we had 4 different modelers getting a major update. So we obviously kind of put those all together as well. So just makes sense. Yeah, going through those, going through the questions and comments you put on YouTube or on social media as well. And before you ask, yes, Rich is contributing to this as well. And then I'm basically creating this massive text file which has the rundown of the show, a script if you will, and I also gather all the links for all the different articles because we always link to every article we mention in the show. Same goes for videos and stuff like that, and I think that's very important. We don't want to kind of steal stuff from any article or anything like that. We want to give those sites credit for what they do. Weekend Watch is many times just picked by my YouTube algorithm and the recommendations I get, and sometimes Rich spots something that he's going to recommend for the Weekend Watch as well. Then when it's time to shoot, I turn on all the fancy lights I have in the room, and I usually have to clean up quite a lot because I don't want to have anything disturbing in the background, meaning that I would have like clothes lying around or anything like that. I try to keep that away from the shot at least. So sometimes my cleaning means that I'm just gonna take the stuff from there and throw it on the floor, and you can see it so it doesn't exist for you. So once we're ready to shoot the show, we hop on StreamYard, check our audio, check our video that it's working. After a lot of technical things we've been figuring out over the past year, it's fairly consistent and steady. So like, I have my fixed setup, I just turn on the things and they work. Same goes for Rich as well. We usually run through the show, like see what we're going to talk about. If there's something we want to not mention or something we really want to mention, we're going to go talk through those as well. And yeah, then we basically shoot the show live, minus few times where like I mess up some sort of transition or something like that. But mostly like what you see is like a full live show, just pre-recorded. Once we've done with the shoot, I download the file from StreamYard. You can download that pre-recorded show as a video file. Rich sends me his audio file. And by the way, I think I forgot to mention that we record our audio separately as well, just as a backup, because with recording the show over internet, you always get those digital glitches. And I have a pretty extensive signal chain for both of us, kind of tweaked to our voices, that I kind of fine-tuned over each episode. And I think now we are sounding good. And I like to say we sound at least as good as most of the other podcasts as well. So humble brag or something like that here. Then it's creating a thumbnail for the show, sometimes even a few different versions, because the YouTube algorithms are a mysterious thing and sometimes people immediately click on the show, sometimes they don't. And then also writing the text, timestamps, things like that. Those take a couple of hours of my time each week to produce as well. And yeah, then it's just scheduling the show, scheduling the social media releases. And a question to you, dear listener and viewer. Is this something you would like to learn, how to produce a podcast with a friend that's living thousands of kilometers from you? Do you want to know my audio processing signal chain, anything like that? If this is something you're interested in, I'm considering doing a separate video on the channel just for that. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's how we produce CatPick Fridays. And now back to us celebrating this thing. Yay! Let's do something we have never done before. We're gonna have some background music here.
Oh,
to get
beautiful.
us into a celebratory mood.
Okay.
I didn't want to add the video element there, but let's have it on the background. Can we talk in rhythm with this? Let me take it down a little bit. There you go. Yeah. So that's what it takes to make the show happen. Not sure how many hours it takes me weekly. I just realized I'll probably have to synchronize this music in the post to what we're doing. Otherwise we'll be just like jamming out of rhythm, which would be bad.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, the whole thing.
What I'm going to do is clap along to a couple of beats to help you out.
Oh no, I lost the music. I lost the music because I wanted to share this. So this is the absolutely first episode of CatPick Fridays, and this is what it looked like back in the day, in the dark ages of 2021.
I like the title to the first ever episode, by the way. Just for anybody who wasn't back there, back in the day, when did I join? Like 10 episodes in or something? You had me as a guest, and then I sort of stuck around.
Well. Yeah, I have that queued as well.
Okay, but yeah, the title of the first ever CatPick Fridays, Why the Hobbit Sucks. Pro Studio Stands, Story Behind My First Name. That is, yeah. I remember watching it and enjoying it, but it's just funny.
Yeah. That camera angle looks weird now. I think it looked just fine.
I think you were going for like a very sort of intimate sort of connection between viewer and host. What's that like red thing above the light switch behind you there? I see two switches and then...
Yeah, it just tells you whether the lights are on in the... so that's...
that's a light, okay.
Like a sauna space, so... it just tells you whether there's lights on or not.
Ah,
So you remember to turn them off. Well,
yes.
neat. But yeah, like this was fun one to do at the time, but like I think I made 5 or 6 episodes like this. Then I was like, this is getting boring, like just talking all by myself, and started thinking of maybe inviting other people to do this.
And your first solution to not enjoying talking by yourself was to create a cardboard version of yourself that you stood in the background with a life-sized face for anybody watching this.
The cardboard version was there for a while already because I used it to like help focus my camera, so it like place it where I was supposed to sit, and then like focus my camera on that cardboard face.
Clever.
I still have it somewhere over there in the background, but haven't used it as much anymore because I've learned to use my cameras properly now.
That's a very good idea, though. I always remember from back in the day watching an old Rob Chapman video where he showed how he did stuff. This was quite a few years ago, I guess, before he also learned how to use his cameras in the professional way. And he would always just have a chair where he would sit, and he would just put a guitar on the chair, and he would focus in on the headstock because that was roughly where his head was going to be. And I always thought, that's cool, but kind of DIY, which is exactly what it was. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so episode 7 was the first one that I decided to release as a podcast. Yes, because the first timestamp is podcast news. Yeah, so from episode 7, this was released as a podcast as well. And then episode 7 was this one. I still like, this was just me sitting in the studio and going through different topics. And video-wise, it's a bit monotonous. How do you say it?
Boring. Yes, monotonous is the word, yes. I just thought the brutal truth would be
That's
what
true
people
as
were
well.
thinking of. No, monotonous, you're right. It's just, one camera, same perspective the whole time. Just like my videos, in fact.
Yeah.
I'm the king of that.
Yeah, that's why I like you as a co-host. You just bring in the truth, nothing but the truth. It also sounds like we have some sort of family crisis going on there, but they will alert me if they need me. That's our deal. So unless someone's calling my name, everyone should be fine. But yeah, so episode 7 was the first like podcast episode, and on episode 10, Rich joined the team. We're checking on YouTube. So the first episode, as I mentioned, or did I mention in the clip we just saw, like we would shoot our videos independently. I think we were on Zoom or something. We'd also record our audio independently. Then he would send all of those files to me, which already took time. Uploading, downloading, importing, then editing it all together. And yeah, this took some time to put together. And like, for example, in this episode, we're talking about the Jerry James Nichols Gold Top guitar. Like, now on StreamYard, we can look at the articles, we can look at the videos and stuff like that while we're doing that, which kind of brings a cool visual element. Right here, there's a single JPEG in the middle between us, and that's it. Because otherwise, I didn't want to spend insane amount of time editing these videos, because it's a podcast format, but visually this doesn't look that good. Plus, you were using the lavalier mic at the time, which made our voices sound very different. I managed to get it all right.
Yeah.
But still. So, how far we've come. And then I think the last one I have queued. This was the first episode. So episode 21 was the one we did on... This was the first one we did on StreamYard. And I don't know what you're doing to that microphone there. You have a holy moment with it or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Was that my first episode using that microphone?
I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely look like I'm praying to it, worshipping it, in awe of it. And you're just looking at me like, Why did I invite this guy on the show again? Like it's very sort of stern Vlad. Ah, there we go. Oh, maybe and there I am again, just...
Yeah. I think my computer is running out of like memory or something. Or something like that is going on. Yeah. But I'd like to say like we've come quite far from this. Like I think... I did already use some screen sharing / desktop sharing stuff. So we were looking at just photos. We weren't looking at the article side. Like all of this has kind of naturally like evolved to the point where producing like multi-camera, desktop sharing, video sharing show. But I think at this point I was like just sharing like photos of stuff. So
that's
no
what
video
it looks
sharing
like.
there yet. No video sharing just yet. Yeah, interesting. And how far we've come since then.
Indeed.
Well done us. And yeah, I still have a lot of fun doing this show, and I feel like we're just getting started. So I think that's good as well. And hope you feel the same way. Or something like that.
I generally enjoy it very much as well. I mean, watching the video of you explaining everything that you do in order to make this show happen also makes me grateful because, you know, this show goes out on your channel. It was your thing. It was your idea at first. But at the same time, I'm the co-host now. Like I'm here every week. I'm a regular fixture. And yeah, in a way, I have a pretty easy ride. I do preparations, you know, obviously as part of my day job as well. I'm looking at new gear and stuff all the time. I'm sending you links. We're talking or messaging often during the week, most days. I'm sure we're in touch, aren't we, pretty much? And,
yeah, pretty much.
I'm thinking about stuff, and I guess I put a few hours into the show each week in terms of research and sort of pre-preparation. I make sure to go through all the articles if I can and learn a little bit more about the products if I don't know anything about them in most cases. It does also depend on my day job workload, which is sometimes high, sometimes not quite so high. This week, for example, I've had hardly any time to do anything helpful for Vlad because we've had an artist over visiting us for Blue Guitar, and I've been looking after said artist, and that was great fun and stuff, but that obviously meant that you had to take more of the lead with this week. But that's just the way it goes, I guess, and the way it's happening at the moment is working pretty well. There's room for improvement. We have no glass ceiling here, but yeah, 51 episodes in, and let's see if we make 100. Yeah,
I'd like to think we do, but you never know. Why am I predicting like some sort of doom happening over our show? I don't know why we keep doing that, but yeah, I guess we want this to continue.
Yeah, we started the show wondering if we'll even make next week, let alone 50 more, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. There's something I wanted to mention, completely blacking out at this moment. Oh yeah, about the co-hosting, like I think you're like an integral part of this because, as I mentioned, talking all by myself, damn it, I was just about to again sing something because anytime we mention any sentence from any famous songs, I always start singing them. Don't ask me why, or you can, but I'm not sure if I can answer that question. Yeah, like I can do a 5-minute monologue and then I'm tired of listening to myself already. So having two people makes a lot of sense. By the way, something I also want to mention, and I also want to hear from you, like, are there some podcasts, just podcasts, or like podcasts that also have the video thing? Are there some that you are kind of inspired by and have taken influences from them? Because I definitely have one that's been like heavily influential on me and just made me interested in podcasting in general.
Me personally, well, actually, I'm someone who tends to listen to podcasts only. I'll have podcasts on when I walk places. I walk a lot. You know, I do a lot of commuting on public transport and stuff, COVID permitting, of course. And when I'm doing household tasks or out and about, I'll have a podcast on quite often. Often guitar related, often music related, sometimes just not, sometimes sport related, sometimes comedy stuff, sometimes historical stuff, sometimes educational things. But yeah, I mean, I tend to listen to stuff, and in terms of visual podcasts, it's never really been something that I've spent that much time watching, because what podcasts let me do is get something else done while I listen. And my absolute favorite for doing that is Phil McKnight's Know Your Gear podcast, which I've listened to for years and years now. I just find it really enjoyable. Phil is someone who can talk to himself for hours on end. He's just an absolute natural at doing that, and he's great, and he knows so much, and he's such a great guy, and knowing him personally as well and realizing that that is who he is just really nice. So I always enjoy listening to Phil's podcast. A couple of others that I listen to semi-religiously. I listen to a podcast called What's Good, which is a UK-based one from a couple of guys who have YouTube channels. One of them is in a pretty famous group called The Sidemen, and they do lots of silly things. They're not musical. They're like YouTubers, influencers, whatever you want to call them. But both football fans, both quite funny guys, and I enjoy listening to them. And in terms of podcasts, it kind of closer to what we do again. I listen to a few. But again, do I watch any? Not really. The one I do sometimes watch is the Guitar Stories podcast. I listen to the Overdriven Chat Show. I've started listening to Brian Wampler's podcast fairly recently. What's that called? Guitar Stories?
No, is Guitar Stories the one that Andy and Dan do?
Possibly.
No.
Let me just look. But one with Brian Wampler and an American chap called Blake, who has another podcast, which I've not heard, and another chap from Wampler called Richard, an English guy, who isn't me. Let me just get my
Wait, there's
Spotify
other
up
Richards
here.
in the UK, from UK. I don't
there's
believe
two,
it.
actually. There's two. Chasing Tone is the other one that I
That's
listen
true.
to. Chasing Tone.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. And I don't know if there's even a visual version of that one. I'm not certain. But yeah, those are the podcasts I listen to on a regular basis, which are kind of musical in some respects.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm weird in the sense that I don't listen to that many like music-related podcasts, or like especially like guitar-related podcasts. I might have mentioned this earlier, but I'm at some point I'm a big NBA fan, and I follow the whole thing quite a lot. Well, quite a lot would be an understatement. I mainly listen to NBA podcasts, not guitar podcasts, and probably my favorite, and I kind of queued up the video here as well, is something called No Dunks. So it's basically 4 friends plus a producer, and these guys have been doing the podcast thing for 15 years at least. And you can tell that they're good friends. They all live nearby, and like they spend time together off camera as well. And they just love basketball and like a chill atmosphere combined with. That's a great image to stop on, by the way. One of the guys had to wear a dog shock collar for the whole episode because he lost the bet. And the producer will like zag him every like couple of minutes without any warning. That was a fun bit. But yeah, if this video will work, I have some trouble. Yeah, my computer refuses to work today. Never mind. I'm gonna ignore that. But yeah, like I like them quite a lot. It's just a fun atmosphere, and like they go in depth on a lot of stuff, but it's also like very relaxed. As like like when you talk with friends, you're passionate about something. Like if we would be in the same room, we'd talk about like guitar, something in depth, but there's always like this relaxed atmosphere. They kind of managed to recapture that on camera as well with their show, and something that I think we've kind of aimed for as well with this show. Like it's kind of serious. We're passionate about what we're talking, but it's also like it kind of doesn't matter, but it kind of matters a lot, but doesn't matter at all type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, if we hate a pedal, it doesn't really matter. If we love a pedal, it kind of also doesn't matter. But it also does matter quite a lot, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. Yeah.
I was taking a lot of inspiration from them. I occasionally do listen to 60 Cycle Hum. I think they do, like, it's very random what they talk about. But again, you can feel like Ryan and Steve have been friends for years, and you can kind of hear that. And that's something that I've kind of taken from them. And what else? I also enjoy Phil McKnight's thing. It's weird that he manages to talk for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it never feels like he's doing like a monologue. He's really good at like creating conversation with like the sort of fake person, or somebody asks him a question on StreamYard, and he's really good at like replying to that without it sounding like he's, having a rant for a couple of hours. So that's very impressive. I don't think I could do that.
No, I
Maybe I
definitely
could, who
couldn't.
Yeah,
We should try it one time, but Phil is really, really good at what he does.
he is. Yeah, exactly. And it's also interesting, like, with some of the NBA podcasts, sometimes they do segments where just one guy like does some sort of a longish intro, like almost like a mini essay. And with some people, you could tell like they really need the other hosts there, because it feels like a monologue or a rant that doesn't really go anywhere. Like, you can almost hear that they're uncomfortable. So we're trying to
I
avoid
know what
that
you
as
mean.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to avoid that as well. But yeah, 1 year anniversary. Yay! Here's to the next one. I'm gonna have a sip of water to celebrate.
I'm going to do the same with my exciting decaffeinated coffee that I'm drinking this morning.
Nice. I'm just drinking water.
All that taste and none of that caffeine.
None of that taste and
And
no
none of the
caffeine
caffeine either.
with this one.
No, it's basically brown water that I'm drinking. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we should start talking about things that have happened recently. And yeah, start with the Line 6 Catalyst. Let's go. Yeah, as we teased, Line 6 has released the Catalyst amp, and Genius.com, I like how to summarize it. New amps, no menus, no screens, just tone.
Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. It's a new amp range featuring Helix technology, and a lot of people have already branded it as like a Katana killer. Well, that's something you put in a YouTube title. Is the Katana killer? Don't know, but it sure looks good. There's a 200 watt version, 100 watt version, and a 60 watt version, and there's also like a power sock thing on the back. Based on Ryan's demo, it's loud. There's several different amp circuits, I think. Then there's some effects.
Yep.
It's very Boss Katana-ish, if you will. And there's an XLR line output and a 4-channel USB recording interface built in as well. So, as the Katana, this also does it all. Yeah, seems nice. Were there any info on the prices?
Yes, there are prices. I'm pretty sure they're in this article as well. The prices are very small. That's perhaps why you haven't seen them. But yeah, that was a poor joke. I apologize.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, as Vlad's
this
looking
is why
for that.
we've lasted for a year already. There's affiliate links that refuse to load for whatever reason. There you go. $299 for the 60 watt version, $399 for the 100 watt version, and €519 for 200 watt version.
You know what?
Is it the 2x12?
I saw the
by way?
prices in British pounds originally, and they're not as affordable as I thought they were. I mean, that's still pretty cheap for what you're going to get, but I thought they were maybe 100 or 200 less in terms of euros per amp. So there we go.
Yeah, the 200
But yeah, this is-
watt one has two speakers in it, so it's not light either.
Yes. What speakers
Actually,
are in
18
it?
Doesn't say 12-inch speakers.
Ah, 12-inch speakers, cool.
Yes,
but yeah,
I think that's the info you were looking for. Actually,
exactly.
like 90 kilograms isn't too bad for 2 by 12.
I'm kind of wondering where that weight is all coming from, because
Magnets.
it could have
on the
been
speakers?
lighter. Yeah, but it's an open back. Presumably,
but
it's
see,
made of very heavy wood. So they're
Could
Line
be
6
that as well.
Catalyst speakers in there. So
Yes.
their own brand speakers, no Celestians or anything like that in here.
Yeah.
Looks clean, looks tidy. I would be
looks
very,
really nice.
very interested to try these out. And I would be very interested to watch someone test this against the Katana, because this is obviously here to compete directly with that market. It looks so similar. To me, it looks like a cross between the Katana and the Black Star, like ID
Oh, that's
Core
true.
control
Like the
panel.
fonts and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, it looks
And the
nice and
fronts of
clean,
them
but
look-
again,
Yeah, the fronts look classy.
yeah.
I mean, the one thing
I'm gonna
they can
guess
never
this-
avoid having is a Line 6 logo on there. There's nothing wrong with the Line 6 logo, but I think a lot of people who grew up at a certain time grew up with the Line 6 Spider and will automatically think that anything in amp form from Line 6 is not good, which is a mistake.
Yeah, it's a mistake, but I also get where that's coming from. So yeah, I gotta check the small one as well on Thomann, and yeah, we're gonna drop affiliate links there if you want to support the channel and get one for yourself. That would be
So
much
which of these would
appreciated.
attract you the most, Vlad? They have pretty much exactly the same feature set, I think. It's just the volume that you have and the price that you pay effectively. 160 watt speaker, 100 watt speaker, or 200 watt speakers.
I'd probably go for the smallest one.
Yeah.
If the features are exactly the same as it seems that they are. I mean, it's kind of silly how Katana-ish this is. Like, even the layout here is similar.
Yeah,
Like, it's choose effects with these buttons exactly
Yeah,
the way
those
you
three
do.
buttons. That's what I was looking at in my comparison. They look very similar.
Yeah, if you're just listening to
I
the
mean-
podcast version, we highly recommend you check out the links in the show notes so you can see the layout, because it is very Katana-like.
I suppose
I'm
there's only
on
so
to-
many ways you could do that. The most
Yeah,
efficient
definitely.
way. And obviously Boss has found the most efficient way, because that's what Boss does. And everybody else
Yeah, they do.
bases what they do around what Boss do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like this font reminds me of like some like superhero movies, or like I'm talking about the Catalyst logo or font. They're using it like from a superhero movie or something. Like it could say like
Yeah.
Batman or Superman Returns or something like that. You could type it with that
Also,
font.
you know, Catalyst, the first 4 letters, phonetically, it's exactly the same as Katana. So in that sense, it rolls off the tongue in the same way.
Yeah. I bet there will be like 1,700 different comparison videos between the two, which will help you to decide which one to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
Katana 60 is $299. How much is the Katana 50? Katana
250, is it?
$289. So it's the
$289.
same
Oof.
price as well.
They are priced the same. So this is going to be kind of test them both out and have your own personal choice.
Yeah.
I've not tried the Catalysts. I've tried Katanas. They're pretty great.
They are really good for the money. It's ridiculous. If you compare it to what junk I was playing when I was a
Yeah,
kid. I had
me
to
too,
practice with These are
absolutely.
insanely good. I could gig with the Katana just fine.
Yeah. So the Catalyst amps have effects built in which are based off the Helix effects, as far as I understand it.
Yeah.
I would take that and assume that the reverb and delay effects, for example, are going to be better than those available on the Katana,
Yeah, I could see that happening.
or at least more advanced.
Yeah. Though, I guess, did you mention, is there like a desktop editor for this at some point? Like, I'm going to check the Line 6 product page. Like, if there's some sort of like a desktop editor. What? I just went to the
fire
Line
hazard
6.
alert comes up whenever you open the Line 6 website, and I realize that they have to do it for safety reasons, but it's such a It's such an off-putting thing, isn't it?
I wonder how
fire
long they
hazard.
have to do. Yeah, so for those listening, I just went to the Line 6 website to check out the Catalyst amps, and immediately were presented with this like bright orange alert fire hazard. They have some like fire hazard issues with the Relay G10 transmitter. This has been reported for like quite like it's been going on for a while. So I think any of these wireless units purchased prior to March 2020, there's like a fire hazard with those. And yeah, but what a way to welcome us to the site. Thanks, Line 6. Yeah, I'm trying to find out whether there's like some sort of desktop editor for this as well, because that would be interesting to know. If there is, you'll probably have like deeper access to a bunch of those effects. It just says 18 additional effects. Thank you.
Yep,
That tells a lot.
it does.
Well,
Just while you're
maybe
scrolling down, Blab, what do you think of the tones that you've heard so far from the Catalyst? The only ones I've listened to so far have been the ones on this Line 6 website page that you're looking at right now.
I listened
Just there,
to
there's
the
some
ones
samples.
from Ryan's video, and
Yeah.
the amp bundle sounds fine, but it's because they fixed the main problem with all the Helix units, which is incredibly bad IRs they ship with. Here you have a real speaker, and all of a sudden it sounds great.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's
I've been
a
very
process
public
I'm
about
currently
my
going through with my Pod Go.
Yeah, exactly. Same for me as well. Like, it's ridiculous what a difference between the two there is. Like, the external IRs and the ones built in. I'm sorry, but that's just the case. If you're not using external IRs with your Line 6 Helix product, you're missing out quite a lot. That's all I'm going to say. But, yeah, it sounded great. Like, all the vintage amp sounds Ryan went through in that video sounded very nice. He mic'd up the amp with a single microphone, was playing a Strat, and it sounded good. Like, as good as Katana, at least, I want to say. Yeah, I want to try one out. Because it's Line 6, I think this will be available here as well at some point.
Are they available
try
already? Can you go back to your Thomann link?
I can go there. I think it said several weeks. 8 to 10 weeks.
To 10 weeks.
So they're not able to do the boss thing where it's out right away.
Interesting. I wonder why they chose to release this amp line this week publicly and all the accompanying influencer marketing videos, considering the fact that these amps are not available for 2 to 3 months. It's an interesting choice because people have such short attention spans these days. It's like, will someone wait? You know, they might see the video for this. They've got $300 to drop on an amp, but they've got to wait 8 to 10 weeks. They go to the music store, they try a Katana, does the same thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, an interesting question, especially with budget-friendly products. I'd like to say, like, you kind of need to have them in stock, especially because this isn't something that a lot of people have like anticipated. They just drop the news all of a sudden, and there it is. So,
yeah, it's like in some regards, why not wait those few more weeks until you have the stock? But yeah.
So unfortunately, this also means that we are not going to be able to try this out for a while. It sucks, to be honest. But I mean, it's not Line 6's fault necessarily. Maybe this was just like, this is something they plan to release, but then just reality's hit. And
yeah, it's entirely possible that they're suffering from the same production delays as many other companies in many other industries.
Yeah, that would be my guess at least.
Yep.
If you had your hands on one of these Catalyst amps, please let us know what you think. And we'll be... I want to say one of us will try these as soon as possible because these are interesting products.
Yep.
I would even love to compare one to a Katana as well. So we shall see. But the other news, and we have a leak which used to have some sort of like rumors / leaks type of intro thing. Just add a little bit of mystery to them. But on gearnews.com, there's an article about Boss RE-2 Space Echo, so the compact take on the Roland Classic. And there's few different photos of this unit, and it looks very legit. In the article, they mentioned that they are not like seeing any Photoshops or anything like that. These photos are kind of pretty bad, which kind of actually makes me think that they are it's real. And also, this year, I think it will be, they mentioned that in the article, it will be, this year, it's 50th anniversary of the original Space Echo. So the big kind
That's amazing, by the way. 50 years.
Top of the amp unit. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. And they do have the RE-20? So like the dual switch unit. And this would be a natural evolution of that.
It would
great.
Be.
Looks real to me.
It looks really cool, and loads of people love the RE-20. It's a beautiful effect. The Space Echo is wonderful. What a lot of people didn't like about the RE-20 is the fact that it was kind of a tone sucker when it was in bypass mode.
Oh, that's true. They mentioned
that was
in the article
an issue for people. Yeah,
and apparently it has been discontinued.
Yeah. So it's about time that something new came out. It's such a beloved effect. I'm wondering, looking at these images, is it real? Is it fake? Who knows? But it would be a fantastic product to come out, and in a compact, single foot switch stomp box size, it would be an absolute winner, I think. I mean, on the other hand, I'm kind of surprised they wouldn't do a Wazza version of it. So you would think that would be sort of a prime product to do that with. But because this has so many different modes anyway, perhaps they thought that wasn't necessary. I would like to think that this is real. Someone's gone to an awful lot of effort if it wasn't, because I think this is not a photoshopped pedal. I think that pedal in those images actually exists. It's just, is it what it says it is?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, but looks interesting. I'd love to try one out if this is real, or when this will be real, something like that. I bet.
So I read that there was a rather well-known online store. I don't know which one it is. I think it's an American-based one that did do about 20 pre-orders of this pedal, and they took people's money for it and everything. And then this sort of leak surfaced, and then they refunded those people. And that's also something that, if it's true, speaks for the fact that this pedal is actually on the way.
Nice. I'm starting to feel I need to hit up my boss contact and ask for some inside information.
Yeah, you could at least ask.
Yes.
Ask to get one, of course, and just say, hey, is it real?
Like,
if so, send me two.
Yeah, like type K if this is real or something like that.
Yeah. Some people online are saying that this is just a relabeled Boss Terra Echo effect, but I mean, it has different knobs and all that kind of stuff, so who knows? We shall have to wait a bit longer. You can get Space Echo effects in other Boss units, but it's like there was something special about the RE-20. Yep. And what presumably Boss are doing here is repackaging that special vibe and packing it into the RE-2.
Yep. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open, ears out. Something like that in English, where we just want to mention that we're going to follow up this story as it progresses, because I kind of want one.
Yeah, me too.
I'm growing to love Boss effects more and more. And the ones I have right now, like, I'm not getting rid of them just because they are absolute classics and they just work.
What do you think this one would cost roughly if it does turn out to be a real thing?
If they release it as a Wazza thing, probably 200-ish euros as the, what was the Dimension thing, for example, was like 200-ish euros, like in that price range.
Yeah.
if it's not a Warzone, then it's probably more affordable.
Yeah, it could be 150, 160 euros or dollars.
Yep.
That would be a decent price. I think a lot of people would go for it. I mean, the only issue that you have there is you have devices like the Boss DD200 delay with multiple algorithms in it, and I think that has a space echo in it.
Yeah. But it's also like way more complicated, so maybe this is more appealing to a lot of people. No menus, anything like that, just knobs and modes.
Yeah, for anyone who had the DE20, this is what they would want to go for.
That is
Sorry, the RE20. I'm confusing my
RE20,
Boss terms here. I'm just searching the DD200 off the side here.
Yeah. From space echoes to space-looking guitars, PRS Chrome Silver Sky makes its appearance during the Super Bowl halftime show. And yeah, I actually noticed, like, before reading this article, like, hey, that's a Silver Sky at the halftime show, and it's a silver one. It looks nice. And did I mention the name of the guitar player? The guitar was played by PRS artist Rob Gerrigan. Is that how you would pronounce him?
American Geringer.
Geringer?
Yeah. Could be Gueringer. I'm not entirely sure.
Rob by his
Rob
first
G.
name. Rob G. Yes, Rob G played this cool-looking Silver Sky, and for those watching on YouTube, I hope this will work now. Maybe my computer has fixed itself. And yeah, like I immediately noticed, hey, that's a Silver Sky, because you can tell by the headstock quite quickly what guitar we're talking about. Okay, I think there you go. Oh no, he's playing a different guitar at the beginning of the show. He's playing on a nice jazz master there. There was also, I remember seeing like articles about this halftime show that, oh, this guy's drums weren't mic'd up and stuff like that. And I don't think you would mic up drums at the Super Bowl. There's too much stuff bleeding in anyway. It would probably be very difficult to make it work.
I've not watched this video yet, but it looks incredible. Wow, they really put money into it, don't they? The halftime show. Oh,
yes. Some people said that this was the best halftime show ever. I don't know. I don't have like extensive history of that. I think I watched the Whitney Houston one. Oh no, she did the national anthem, not the Super Bowl show, like the halftime show. Prince's one is probably one of the most legendary ones.
Yeah. I guess in some ways it's always going to be a bit divisive when you have rap and hip hop artists doing it. I remember when Jay-Z was unveiled as a Glastonbury Festival headliner, and Noel Gallagher had something to say about that. But now it's totally normal. You know, it's totally mainstream. And of course, hip hop and trap is what tops the charts all over the world these days. So it should be totally normal. It looks amazing. I'm going to have to watch this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's also like articles about Snoop Dogg maybe smoking something before the show.
Well, that would not surprise me.
Well, that's the thing. Like with him, you almost assume that's happening. It's not like a surprise in any way.
Yeah, is he not smoking something all the time?
So yeah, exactly. I mean, this was released on February 14th, so on Monday, and it has 52 million views.
Wow, it's done even better than Jim Lill's Tonewood video.
Yeah, Jim Lill is the close second now.
Yeah, but he's on about 700,000, which in our little world is impressive. Massive.
Yeah, but yeah, I also personally highly recommend checking out like somebody who grew up, checking out this halftime show. That is somebody who grew up in like early 2000s, or like I started really paying attention to music at that point, like 50 Cent, Eminem, Dr. Dre, a lot of the Snoop Dogg, a lot of those artists are, well, from our youth already. And these guys kind of helped me to transition from like, oh, metal is the only true form of music, to like, hey, I like all kinds of music. I liked a lot of Eminem songs and kind of started like, I first disliked 50 Cent when he came up. I thought Eminem was better, but then I just realized they're different artists and both have cool songs. And yeah, these guys are also getting quite old, which is kind of something that you realize at some point. Not only they are getting old, I'm getting old as well.
Yeah.
They're like, 50 Cent is at least in his 40s, maybe getting closer to 50s as well. So
Really? Wow. Okay.
he has to be in 40s at least.
Well, he looks pretty good for 40s there. He's aging gracefully.
Well, I mean,
the ladies
nowadays
seem to like him. Nice work.
Yeah. Like the amount of planning for this show has to be just ridiculous. Like all the camera angles, like where everybody is positioned, stuff like that.
Yeah, just the choreography
crazy.
in that one little space where 50 Cent was just then. And there's about 4 of those spaces, and now Beyonce's outside, and it's like, okay, madness.
Yeah.
Millions and millions of
And
dollars have gone into this.
Yeah, and then
But
they
that's
have
the
to
Super Bowl,
unpack the
isn't it?
whole thing so they can play the second half of the game as well.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, but that's Super Bowl for you. And
Indeed it is.
From Super Bowl
I
to
just
something...
before
Yeah,
we
go
move
ahead.
on to the next topic, I wish to make a small correction about the RE-2. The DD200 does not have a space echo algorithm in it,
which
to me speaks
there you
more
go.
for the RE2 being a real thing. Let's now continue.
Yeah, I think like gonna comment on that both are very smart about making their pedals in a way where like all the versions of the pedal can remain desirable. So if the RE2 is real, like there isn't other products that like completely kind of do the same thing as the RE2 would do, and I think that's very, very smart from a marketing perspective as well. Something that probably wasn't smart was the security with the Premier Guitar's Instagram page. Because they were hacked, and we checked this morning before shooting the show. The Instagram account still hasn't been recovered. I tried to search for Premier Guitar and found the hacked kind of... So somebody hacked the account and then renamed it to something weird. And it's still there. And apparently they've created another account with the Premier Guitar handle. And they have messaged Premier Guitar addressed a message to Premier Guitar team in the description of the box. Hello, Premier Guitar team. Apparently someone hacked you. Please DM me to get your original Insta handle back.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if that was the hackers who created that account, because
That's true.
when the original hacker hacked into Premiere Guitar, they changed the URL. You know, they created their own URL from it, and it's possible that some kind of, charitable guitar player quickly jumped in and got Premiere Guitar and is offering it back to Premiere Guitar
true.
themselves. Or it's possible it's the hacker and they want money, but I don't know at this point. Like you said, though, what an unfortunate turn of events to have your Instagram page hacked. They had thousands of posts, over 3,000. They had 230,000 followers, and all of that is, at least temporarily, gone in an instant. They're not the first in our kind of branch of the world to have their account hacked. They won't be the last, but you mentioned it before the show, Vlad, that Stevie T recently lost his YouTube channel for a day or two, didn't he?
Yeah. I think for several days, actually.
And
same goes for our friends that used to run the Guitar Bros channel. They actually never recovered from that.
Joss and Tom lost their channel and never got it back, I don't think. They also made a mistake.
They got it back, but it took so long that they just basically never recovered from that.
Stevie T, with his millions of subscribers, was able to create like a wave of publicity to help get his back, and he's got it back, and now he has extra layers of security, let's say, attached to his account, so you can't simply guess his password and be in. He has double factor authentication on. And I believe these days on YouTube, you actually have to have double factor authentication if you're a creator, if you're actually releasing videos.
Yeah,
but someone seems to
hope that's the case.
Yeah, someone's got into this Premiere Guitar account, and it's going to be interesting to see if they get it back or if they don't. They haven't made any public statement since then. Just seems to be business as usual on their website. So let's see what's going on behind the scenes, and fingers crossed they get it back, because if they have to start from zero, Premiere Guitar obviously has a massive reach and a massive YouTube channel and a lot of marketing and advertising power behind it, but building back up to 200,000 followers is going to be an arduous process.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, reminds me of the fact that please have the two-factor authentication on, because otherwise this is something that could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
it's a simple step, but it basically makes your account unhackable, because what if someone manages to get your password right, what they then need access to is your personal phone or another device, which obviously you will have with you and they won't have, unless they've somehow stolen your phone too, in which case they probably deserve your account because they're very, very creative and clever as thieves. But yeah, that's the thing. The other point for me about all this is something which I want to relate to YouTubers and people who make careers on social media channels. It can all be gone like that, you know, because if you're a YouTuber and all you do is post videos on that platform, if you lose access to your account, if you lose all your videos, suddenly everything you have done is gone, you know? If you don't have your own site, if you don't have your own mailing list or something like that, you can be from everything to nothing in the space of a day. That's kind of a scary thought. If you're just putting out content on YouTube or Instagram, they effectively own you in that respect.
Yeah, and based on all the stories we've heard, it's difficult to get YouTube's attention and get your channel back. They don't have any kind of like YouTuber support or anything like that. They just
these social media companies aim to bring people together, but they are the hardest people in the world to actually contact if you want to do something with a real person.
Yeah, all the irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there you go.
One more tip that I have to add to this.
Give your tip.
One of the is obviously the two-factor authentication, but the other one, and that's very important, your default browser should be a different one than the one you use for your YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. Because even though they might not guess your password, they might you can have all kinds of scripts in an email or in a Word attachment or anything like that will then open a window on your default browser. And if you're logged into your YouTube account, for example, on that browser, they gain access to your YouTube account. And they immediately go and do all the changes and stuff like that. So, for example, one way I'm protecting myself is the fact that when I click a link somewhere, it always opens it in a different browser than the one I'm logged into on my computer. I'm logged into my YouTube account on a different browser than the one I'm using, by default, just because of this. It's going to save you a lot of trouble. Even sometimes you could get those from a legitimate looking email addresses and stuff like that. So just an extra layer of protection.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest dangers is clicking any kind of a link. Yeah. Basically, don't do that. is the general guidance there. That's how the Guitar Bros lost their channel, isn't it? It was a seemingly genuine-looking link that lost them theirs. If you're contacted by someone or a company or what seems to be a company, do it another way. Don't click a direct link in an email. Go to a person that you know at that company. Contact them via your means, via authentic official channels. Do it that way instead. Don't give them the joy of clicking on that link in an email, because it's you're risking everything you have by doing that.
Yeah. I mean, this is why you listen to CatPick Fridays. It's not only recent news and entertainment, it's also useful stuff like security tips.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think this will be a recurring segment. We don't claim to be security experts, but we know some stuff at least. So cover the basics, as we do. Yep. From hacks to Gibson. I said that in a way as if there was something like hackable. I don't know where I'm going with this. Gibson are another hacks. They introduced 2 new Jerry Cantrell acoustic models, which sure ain't cheap. $4,000. But then again, it's Jerry Cantrell. It's probably a very good acoustic guitar that doesn't look like too signature-y. Okay, the other one does with like a square around the sound hole, but the other one looks very neutral, I'd like to say. Actually kind of nice.
Yeah, they're interesting looking guitars. Like you say, these must have been, I don't know, Gibson must have hacked down some pretty expensive trees to end up with guitars costing around $4,000. But yeah, to add to the recent Jerry Cantrell Les Paul signatures, we now have acoustic signatures too. Is he well known for playing acoustic guitar?
I guess so.
Okay. I'm not really that familiar with Alice in Chains or his solo material for my sins, so I actually don't know.
Yeah, my impression of him is like he also plays a lot of acoustic guitar. That
Yeah.
I'm not sure where I'm basing it at, or on, but I'd say he plays acoustic guitar quite a lot. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, cool.
And
Yeah, so these are Gibson cutaway dreadnoughts, both black. One of them looks a bit like a black, almost like a... Is it a hummingbird that has that distinctive pickguard? And it has
Yeah, I think
trapezoid inlays, which makes the neck look quite interesting. And the other
bit
one is a
more rock
bit
and
more
roll.
unique with the design, the square shape over the circular sound hole. At least I assume the sound hole is a circle. Or is it a square?
Yeah.
You actually can't see.
you can I'm gonna guess it's round 1. It's just painted that way because.
Oh yeah, it's his
square
signature
sound.
circle in square pickguard. So
There you go. Yeah. That
I
makes
don't know.
unique.
It's too dark. It's ebony, and we can't actually see what the sound hole is.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, neither of these, like, well, maybe the one with the square round thing screams like a signature guitar, but the other one, you could take it to any gig and nobody would, like, immediately tell, like, hey, that guy is a Jerry Cantrell fan.
Yeah.
Looks like a classic,
Okay, so
slightly
the
different
one,
acoustic guitar.
yeah, that more traditional one is the Fire Devil, which builds upon the traditional Gibson songwriter model. It has several unique personalized features like a thinner body depth for playing comfort, a unique Fire Devil pickguard, Jerry Cantrell signature on the truss rod cover, double J water slide decal on the back of the headstock, and more. That's tantalizing. What's the more? Tell us.
We need to know more. Let's check out some sort of page. What more is there? I'm trying to find out what's... Oh, only 100 units will be handmade by the expert luthiers and craftspeople of the Gibson Acoustic Custom Shop in Bozeman, Montana, USA.
Yep. Interestingly, it has a thinner body shape than a standard Gibson acoustic would, so it would be kind of cool to see how that affects the tonality of the guitar. You know, obviously a bigger body, a bigger sound.
Yeah, exactly. But what, like, if you're playing live through a PA system and you're using like built-in pickups, I don't think it matters as much anyway. Just probably makes it more comfortable to play for an extended period of time.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Because I love my Dreadnought, the Taylor 110E, I think is the exact model name. I wouldn't mind it being slightly smaller because I never use that low end it produces anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's good to have in like those situations where I'm playing or like where I'm the only instrument playing, but otherwise, I don't mind. Like, I'm actually like thinking about getting like a parlor-sized acoustic, for example, which would be more comfortable to play.
Yeah, they have a really sweet mid-range and high-end parlor guitars.
yes.
I have a quite nice parlor guitar. I need to get more into acoustic playing again. I've got 3 or 4 and I spent a few years kind of mostly playing acoustic. You know, I was really into finger picking guys like the Tallest Man on Earth, playing contemporary sort of Indian folk stuff, and I have a pretty decent right-hand technique for that kind of stuff, for the complex picking patterns, but I just haven't done it for a long time and need to get back into it. What I've been thinking about doing is kind of offloading my 3 or 4 sort of medium-priced acoustics and getting a great single guitar to use.
Ooh, I highly recommend that idea.
Could be a good idea.
Probably make you pick it up way more often.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the other thing about acoustics is I tend to use a lot of different tunings. The Tallest Man on Earth, for example, he alternates between quite a few. Like, he's got his own kind of semi-unique one, which is a little bit like Dadgad, a little bit different. And it's like, I dislike constantly tuning between acoustic guitars because I seem to break strings way more often and stuff, and they become less stable. But yeah, maybe that's a quest for me for this year or next year.
Yeah, actually, I'd probably just get a second one as well, just because I wanted to get into like Dadgad or maybe Open G tunings. And I guess technically I could tune my guitar to those right away, but it's not the same. It's been adjusted to E standard, and it works perfectly for that. And whenever I need it, it's ready to go. So maybe getting a second one would be the thing to do. Yeah, but from Cherry Cantrell and acoustic guitars to Kiesel, something that's definitely not acoustic looking. Kiesel introduces the new McRockling signature guitar, and English guitarist and producer Thomas McRockling. If that's his real name, well done. You only had one career choice at that point. If you're McRockling, you gotta play electric guitar. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, you were born to do it.
Yeah, MCR6X signature guitar. It's a small bash body, bolt-on neck, tongue-oiled maple neck with rich light diamond black fingerboard, hipshot Kiesel tremolo, 2 purple McRockling signature Fishman Fluence pickups. And
he has signature Fishman Fluence pickups too. Wow.
Yeah, so it seems. Like, we talked about this briefly before we started shooting. It's kind of interesting that guy he doesn't have like a huge following on YouTube. Was it like 30,000 subs or something like that? We checked.
Yeah, I think 37, I think we said this morning when we looked. I mean, he's an insane guitar player.
Oh, he is. I'm not saying like he doesn't deserve it or anything like that, but maybe he's like
it's
well-known producer or something like that, like besides YouTube, and that's...
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But these days, I guess you don't have to be Slash, do you? But if Kiesel have, worked with him before and realized this guy's got, let's say, 30,000 YouTube subscribers or whatever, but they're all dedicated, and we know that if we put out a signature model with him, we'll sell 1,000. That's obviously way higher than what they'll sell of this, but it's worth doing, It's the modern way that companies and musicians seem to operate. Good on him, I say, although he doesn't look that happy in the profile picture that we're looking at right now.
That's true as well. And my videos still don't work, so we're not going to watch any videos today. Sorry about that. Yeah,
but it looks like a very interesting guitar, a bit different from the standard Kiesel, like a sort of a more bulbous body, a massive kind of upper cutaway. It's like a Les Paul sort of upper horn, but twice as big. It's huge. You can almost see a standard size guitar underneath it, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's very
It's
true.
really bulbous, yeah. Headless, of course. You've got those signature Fishman Fluence pickups. What's the bridge on it?
It was
a hipshot Kiesel tremolo.
Yeah,
and a rich light fingerboard, which is an interesting choice.
Have you ever played any guitars with rich light fretboard?
Yeah, a couple of Gibsons, and I had no problems with them. And in fact, I believe when I played one of them, I didn't even know it was rich light till I looked. So there you go. I have no real issues with rich light, which is, I guess, hypocritical on my part because I'm always going on about stuff like Indian Laurel. But yeah, I've just heard from... Yeah, I've heard about some people who had the rich light Gibsons that the boards have a tendency to crack, or you might get fret sprout or whatever. So you know, you always hear stories when new woods come out, don't you? These ones look great in the pictures, nice and dark. So we'll hopefully get to play one of these at the next show.
I don't like Richlight because it doesn't sustain enough and it's not a proper tone wood and all of those things.
Yeah.
No, actually, I've owned a guitar with Richlight fretboard. Couldn't care less. That it looked like ebony, but just felt really nice, and the guitar sounded great. It was the Gibson Midtown Custom, which inspired my own.
Okay, yeah. So was that from like between, I don't know, 2008, 2013 or something, the year, or?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, that was kind of the period, I think, when they... Yeah, that was the period when they were using a lot of Richlight on stuff. And it has a mixed reputation. One thing it definitely didn't have in any case when I tried it was, you know, the dryness of Laurel or some other cheaper fingerboard woods. But there you go. It's a personal choice, isn't it? I'd just like to educate you, Vlad, and the viewers on the first point that we made about Mr. McRockling being built to become a guitar player. That's something that we call nominative determinism. The idea that you're drawn towards doing something with your life based on what your name is. So there you go, guys. Impress friends and acquaintances at parties with that juicy piece of info, if you will.
Cool. So I'm going to rule the world then, I guess. Because that's what my full first name means.
Okay, your real first name isn't King Vlad. Because, then I would get it, but yeah.
No, that's just a nickname I use in all the online games. So
interesting. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, let's move on to something else. Besides talking about different Vlads who want to rule the world. Fender releases a George Harrison Rosewood Telecaster now with chambered rosewood body.
It ain't heavy.
I like that. It ain't heavy. Thanks, Gear News.
Always good for a pun.
Yeah, it looks nice. There's no like F-holes or anything. It's just chambered.
Yeah.
Why
not?
Like a cool guitar. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people do say that solid rosewood guitars are extremely heavy. I've never played one. Yeah, I actually wouldn't know. I got to say, for me personally, it's purely a taste thing. I love rosewood fingerboards. I even don't mind, one-piece rosewood necks, but the rosewood body for me is a bit kind of... It's not my favorite. I'll put it that way.
I don't have any strong opinions on it. Haven't tried that.
I don't dislike it. I just feel like there are nicer finishes available. Most of them being blue, but there we go. That's my personal taste.
As we learned from the intro of the show.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure this is a wonderful instrument. It's Fender Custom Shop, right? It's got a modern neck radius, 9.5 inches, so it's going to be extremely playable. It's not going to break your back for playing shows.
Something in German. Yeah, it's not available or no longer available. What?
Maybe it already sold out, or maybe they don't have the new one in yet. Maybe the link you clicked on was still to the old product or something.
Could be.
Yeah, this was made in limited numbers, I assume.
Yeah. Was there any mentioning of... No mention of being limited, I think.
Okay.
But maybe it is. But yeah, Guinness article doesn't mention anything about like a limited run or anything like that. The price is 3,000 euros basically, so not cheap. But then again, it's George Harrison. It's like a proper telly and made out of rosewood as well. So
yeah, exactly. It's an iconic guitar that some people will, it doesn't matter if it costs 200, 2,000 or 20,000. There's people who will snap that up. And it looks like, based on the link, that they snapped it up already.
Yeah, they might have done it already.
Let's check Reverb later and see if it's on there for, 7 times the price.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah. other cool guitars. Ibanez releases its biggest ever run of custom shop instruments as it celebrates Hoshino USA's 50th anniversary. They've been in the USA for 50 years already. Wow. So
50 years.
for whatever reason, Music Radar article doesn't, like, they picked few examples of these guitars. There's an LA CS5 root beer float custom guitar, which is that's the Iceman shape, right?
I was going to guess Talman, but yeah, I think it's the Iceman.
Yeah.
I'm not up to speed on my... Yeah, it's the
this is
unusual Iceman
Talman.
spec. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, the other one is Talman. You gotta watch the YouTube version or check the links in the show notes because these look funky. But what I was going to say, like the only nice one they chose for this article was this JPCS32 Sakura bass with like a cherry blossom finish. This looks cool. The other one's not my thing. But if we go to the Ibanez LA Custom Shop page, boy, oh boy, they have some nice looking guitars over here.
Yeah,
Some
there's
more
loads.
traditional. There's a lot. And I'm going to pick my favorite quickly. Okay, this looks weird and interesting. It's called Zuma,
does.
I think. Oh no, wind shear. And there's like, how would you describe me? Like cavities?
Speed holes.
Speed hole.
I'm just thinking of a Simpsons episode. Yeah.
Like I don't know how to describe that. Oh, they go through the body. What? Imagine the time spent carving those.
Look at the flame maple. It's everywhere. It's on the fingerboard. It's on the back of the neck. It's all over the body. Is that just a two-piece maple body as well?
Could be. It's like somebody just went like, what if it was
Not
all
cut the standard
plain
way.
maple?
Yeah. Very interesting. The wind shear.
I mean, this looks
A
like
weight
a
off your
custom shop
shoulders.
thing from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weight relief, just done in a very in-your-face way.
Yeah, so it's the, I think this is the S-shape body. So not the like the RG one, but the S-shape. So like, so a bit kind of softer edges and stuff like that.
Traditional Strat. This is not.
It is not a traditional Strat. But yeah, this looks very custom shop to me. I like it. What is this? Torch the Cosmos. So this finish is called Torch the Cosmos. So this is an RG shape, but very interesting. That color confuses me. What's going on? What is it? Looks like something you created in like Microsoft Paint, but then you add it on top of a guitar. What is that?
Yeah, to me it looks like an oil spill. It's a really interesting color
that's
scheme.
That's a good way to describe it, actually.
Yeah. Or Torch the Cosmos. It looks like, sometimes on the news they'll have discovered a new galaxy like a million light years away, and you see this kind of blurry image and there's black and white and some different shades on there. It looks a little bit like that, which is maybe what they did here.
It's like somebody used the blur filter in Photoshop on the guitar body. I like that.
And they have that beautiful finish on the body, on the front, and on the headstock, and the rest of the guitar is just black. But yeah.
And let's check out a few more. That was very classy. Oh, I like this one as well. So let's check out a couple of more totally jamming. So there's a very classic semi-hollow double cut. This looks nice. I know Ibanez makes these guitars, but you never associate them with like cool semi-hollow guitars. You have one, by the way.
I
don't
do.
You?
Is that behind me there somewhere? Yes, I do. The AS73 I have.
What?
With fan frets. And what pickups are in that? The pickups look strange. Bartolini's.
Oh.
Expensive. But aren't Bartolini's like acoustic pickups? I don't know enough about them
Maybe.
to
They
say
sure
more.
look like humbuckers.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting instrument.
Yeah, multi-scale, semi-hollow. It looks weird when the pickups and the bridge is slightly like wonky or like angled.
Yeah.
Same goes with the frets. This is definitely a custom shop instrument, like in every sense. Probably with the price, the design. Like, there's not a huge market for this, but somebody will buy this. So,
Yes.
yeah, it's 25.5 to 24.75 multi-scale. Cool. Sign me up. Like, if somebody wants to donate me one, I wouldn't say no.
That's kind of you to take the hit
Yeah,
in that way.
I'm so kind.
If someone's
Alright,
getting
one
rid,
more.
I'll take it off your hands. The Caldera.
Caldera. So this is an RG shape, Steve Vai-ish vibes to it overall. Floral pattern on the board. There's a figured cover top. And a very interesting color choices with the pick guard and everything on. There you go. I like
the
this.
pick guard has two distinct colors to it.
Yeah. This screams custom shop to me as well. Nice. It's very beautiful. Probably very expensive as well. This has to be like a Steam Vive thing because it comes with the A-Note on True Velvet and Tone Zone pickups from DiMarzio, which are pretty much a Steve Vai thing.
Do we have any prices on this Ibanez custom shop site? Be interested to find out how much some of these are. But I think often with guitars like this, it's the case of if you need to ask how much they are, you can't afford them. So that's the way it is.
Yeah, there's like a PDF file they linked to or something like that. Yeah, probably it's exactly as you described, you have to ask. And if you have to ask, you can't afford it. They only accept emails where you say, like, send me this, here's the money, here's my credit card number.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to get something like this because you probably get like the behind the scenes photos probably attached to it, like a hard shell case and certificate of authenticity. I would probably never gig with any of these instruments because I would be scared to damage them. But this, I like this one a lot. So that's
it's customs. The polar opposite of what I personally would normally play, but with some things like this, you can appreciate the craftsmanship that's gone into it, and you can just imagine what a joy it would be to play.
Exactly. And this would look really cool on the wall as well.
It would.
So,
quite the artwork.
Yeah, but that's also something that a lot of people talk about when it comes to custom guitars like this. Like, do they actually get played? And I guess my question would be like, does it matter really? Because some of these are just going to be like in a glass case type of thing, and you can just look at them.
Yeah, I guess the question is, what are you buying it for? Are you buying it to play, or are you buying it as an investment piece, or are you buying it as an artwork piece? Yeah. Just as an off-the-wall question, Vlad, if you could get any custom guitar, what would you get? Or is that too big a question for this show? Should we dedicate more time to that?
No, we can do both. Even like on the top of my head, I would probably like custom shop instrument. You know what? I'd probably say Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Like RJ Ronquillo got a custom shop Gibson. He got one of those Murphy Lab ones not too long ago. He made a video about it on his channel. I think on one of his Saturday live streams or something like that.
Okay.
And he talked about like the way he kind of approached the whole thing was something that I would probably do as well. Just because it's age, you're just not getting that Les Paul sound from any other guitar, even with all of its like flaws. I'm putting that in quotes. Like, I love to have that sound, and I've played few custom shop Gibsons that have been just amazing. And like it's either that or a custom shop 335 for me. How about you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be between Fender and Gibson. I actually downloaded the 2022 Fender Custom Shop sort of manual or builder's sort of booklet the other week and was going through it. There's so many choices that you can have. I don't really know what I would pick. And in that sense, in some ways, Gibson is more attractive as a custom shop instrument. So
Sure.
I might also go for maybe a 58, a 59 or a 60 Les Paul variant from the custom shop. I'd have to try them all out and see which necks and pickups work best for me, but that might be the one. That's a hard question.
Yeah, we probably need to dedicate like a proper segment for that, because I like that would make me browse some companies' custom shop instruments, and maybe all of a sudden I get inspired.
Yeah, exactly.
We JPC S20 Caldera from Ibanez.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you think of custom shops, we've just named Gibson and Fender, but those are just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many more brands, well-known ones like Ibanez, through to kind of custom luthiers and builders who will build you whatever you want. So asking the question, what custom guitar would you have? It's a very wide-ranging question.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I even have one not that far from my place. So Ruokangas, who makes, I want to say, some of the best guitars in the world. The attention to detail and how premium those guitars feel is just incredible. The fretwork and everything is just ridiculous on those. I've been at a couple of guitar shows where you get to try a bunch of instruments, and when you pick up the instrument, it just feels incredibly well finished.
Yeah.
But then there's the only thing that there is that like they don't do like relic finishes, and you kind of don't get that Gibson mojo, for example, if you go for their single cut model.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and I guess that's actually leads to a slightly indirect question. If you're going to pay $10,000 to get a Murphy Labs aged Gibson from the custom shop, could you also kind of do a bit of searching around and find a genuine vintage Gibson for that price, which has the real mojo? And that makes it even trickier.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would probably buy a guitar, like any guitar I would buy is probably always to be used. I don't see myself like putting one in a like glass case or something like that, or hang it on the wall just for the looks. So I have mixed feelings about with a real vintage one. Would I be worried about the fact that if I damage this, it will be less valuable?
Yeah,
I'd probably maybe go for the new custom shop that's aged, which is kind of silly. If you could also get like the old one, like the real one, as we talked about was it last week or a couple of weeks ago, there was that the guy from Social Distortion, I think, he had a new signature.
Oh yeah,
Les Paul, and it was basically priced the same as like this, or you could use the same money to get like a real 70s Les Paul for that money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully, those will be the problems we'll have at some point in our lives. That would be fun.
Fingers crossed. More people start watching the show.
Yeah. So, as the last piece of news, Universal Audio gets into the microphone game with the SD1 dynamic microphone, which Shure looks like the Shure SM7B or the MV7 you have. It just looks very, very, very close to these microphones, especially the SM7B.
It sure does look similar.
Yeah. I see what you did there. It's very
you already did it. I just copied your joke. Or did you not even notice that you were doing it yourself?
Oh, surely you did. If you just stopped listening to the podcast, I think we understand.
Yeah.
It's $299. So it's roughly in the price range of the MV7, actually, which is interesting because this I wasn't able to find anything. It does have like some digital things built in to it as well. Because if it does similar things as the MV7 does, then it's cool. But
is there no information on their website?
I think we gotta jump there to check out. Should have done the research beforehand, but I guess somehow I just missed this. Yeah, they have a whole microphone range, and there you go. There's this standard dynamic microphone. Does it have some smart things in it? Doesn't seem so. There's like just a couple of switches, exactly as you have on the SM7B.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a bit cheaper. Still, yeah, because with them they kind of don't need the smart things built in the microphone because they have the whole plug-in range, and they kind of assume you're gonna use it with your universal audio interface anyway. So,
I wonder if it's in any way kind of what's the word, limited, that you have to use UA sort of plugins and software with it. I mean, I would guess not to use it as a standard mic, but to make the most of the features, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Based on the demo, like they had a cool singing demo attached to the article where the guys like different people are just singing, and they seem to just use the XLR out and go to the input of the audio interface. So if there's no digital things, like you're not being forced to use it with their stuff. But obviously, if you ask them, they would say like you should use it with their stuff. And
well, of course they would, yeah.
Yeah. I'm personally in a situation where my fairly old Apollo Twin is dying. Like all the inputs and everything have become loose. The headphone jack especially is going out of commission pretty soon. I'm having serious software issues with it. I'm not too excited about being tied to universal audio anymore, but the fact that this microphone is $299 and probably sounds really good. They're finally entering the budget-friendly range, both with the audio interfaces and now a microphone as well. So
yeah, that's a definite kind of shift in position from them.
Yep.
Budget microphone. Well, budget 300 it's not super budget, is it? But budget S. Well, again, I've got a speech failure going on. Budget-esque microphones and pretty cheap audio interfaces as well. So, yeah, new worlds for them. I guess that's where the bulk sales are.
Yeah, I absolutely need to check how much the MV7 is, though. Sure.
I think it's cheaper than the SD1 just for the mic.
We're looking at the podcast bundle. The microphone itself is what? So
229.
Shure MV7 is €229 at Thomann. Let's see so universal audio. What was it called? SD1.
SD1.
I just typed SD2 for whatever reason. You cannot see it on Thomann. There you go. $299. So you could get most likely as good microphone from Shure for less money, and also has all the smart things like built-in compression and EQ and stuff like that you can control, and that makes Rich sound so amazing.
Indeed it does.
Indeed. Honestly, unless you absolutely want to have everything from Universal Audio, I see no reason why we'd get this one, the Universal Audio one.
Let's just scroll down a bit, Vlad. Let's have a look at those features on the SD1. So we've got dynamic studio vocal microphone with low cut and articulation boost. Cardioid polar pattern rejects off-axis sounds and room noise. Flat frequency response for natural sounding recordings. So I'm guessing that means it's modeled after the SM7B. Shape vocals and instruments with SD1 Apollo channel strip presets. Again, is that something you would be able to use in other DAWs and stuff? I'm not sure. I don't know enough about this.
Maybe.
Internal shock mount reduces low-end rumble and mechanical noise. rear-mounted XLR jack for easy cable management. Built-in windscreen reduces plosives and breath noise. Quality UA craftsmanship and stylish, rugged build. So there you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, again, there's the thing where they want you to be tied to their hardware. Because I think the UA plugins only work if you have a universal audio hardware.
That's what I was guessing, yeah.
So, yeah, I guess, yeah, personally, I'll go with MV7. Just saying. I'm biased, maybe, because I really like Marshall SM7B. And the only reason why I haven't gotten the MV7 is the fact that I've had this microphone for a decade now, I think. Close to that, and it just works.
Yeah,
every single time.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, the SD1 might sound amazing, and it would be genuinely interesting to test it up against the SM7B and the MB7 just to see what you've got, and some of the other usual suspects just to check. But it's kind of priced halfway between these two Shure microphones, isn't it? And it's going to be interesting to see who advocates for this one. But yeah, for me personally, I don't own any universal audio stuff. And if I were to buy that microphone and I would need to buy more universal audio stuff in order to get the best from the microphone, I wouldn't like that. In the same way that with the Line 6 Pod Go, I don't like the fact that I will have to purchase third-party IRs to get the best results from that product. Because I just feel like you buy something, you should be able to get the best of it.
Yep, I get what you're saying, and I actually agree. Well, even though I've been a universal audio interface user for a long time, it works great when it works. Mine is just, I think it's his expiry date or something like that. It's also been like, I've used it a lot on like all kinds of remote gigs and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Even though it's definitely road worn. I don't know if road worn audio interfaces will ever be a thing, but mine's definitely that. So
yeah, put it on eBay or Reverb as like a one-off custom shop relict interface. See if someone goes for it. You never know.
You never know. Yeah.
Or just don't do that. Your choice.
Don't back down now. We just got up.
Okay, do it.
With this. Yeah. All right. But before we wrap up this week's CatPick Fridays celebratory show, something like that, let's talk about something that I'm not sure I've publicly talked about this that much, but yeah. Weekend watch recommendation from us next.
Watch it. Video.
It's not like you have anything else to do. Yeah, this week's weekend watch recommendation is from Charles Cornell, a huge music channel as well. He's a jazz pianist, kind of Adam Neely style, I want to say. We don't want to watch his ad about whatever thing. But what it's going to is some music from Studio Ghibli, which is a Japanese animation studio, probably most famous from Hayao Miyazaki's movies. So what would be his most famous movies? Spirited Away, Totoro, what's it called? Castle in the Sky is one of those, and probably some others that I'm just forgetting right now. Basically, like one of the most amazing like animation directors ever. And his movies, like he's partially responsible for all the kind of anime thing kind of bleeding into Western culture as well, just because the movies are just movies, and the music that Charles is covering here, it's just really, really, really good. And something that I haven't talked about is like I'm a pretty big anime fan. I watched a lot of series since I was a kid, especially with Netflix and stuff like that. It's cool because they started to have a lot of anime shows on the service as well, so that's cool. And what makes the Studio Ghibli special is like the music in their movies is just freaking amazing. And I'm gonna scroll forward the video a little bit. Yeah, it's just like, it's not your traditional pop chords and anything like that. There's so much depth and emotion packed into that music, especially when you pair it with the events that are happening in the movie. When that music is playing, I'm sorry, Disney, but your music just sucks compared to this one. Having watched, recently we watched the Encanto thing with I think it's the latest from Pixar. Good movie, cool music, especially the one song that became a hit from that one. And I forgot this. We Don't Talk About Bruno, I think was the song. That's a really fun song from the movie. I like that a lot. And a fun movie overall. But this is just next level. And I recommend you to check out this video because I think you will appreciate the music quite a lot. And maybe it might make you check one of the Studio Ghibli movies as well. So there you go. And Charles does a great job explaining it all.
Yep. I'm unfamiliar with Charles Cornell, did you say his name was?
Yes.
I'm unfamiliar with the movies that you named and anime in general. I've heard of Spirited Away because that's obviously a very famous and influential piece. But yeah, I'm going to watch this video and maybe I'll learn something. I'm always open to listening and watching new things, so I'll give it a try. I guess as a second weekend watch, we can also tag on for people the Super Bowl halftime video that we also mentioned. So that's two very contrasting things that you can have a watch of. Watch this first and go from a jazz pianist to 50 Cent.
I'm just about to say, I enjoy both a lot, but very, very different. One is like a nostalgia level when you hear Lose Yourself by Eminem. You go oh man, this was the gigantic hit of my teens. And then you go to this, which is a beautiful art piece of music. Yeah. Very different. Both equally good, just in a different way.
Exactly. Different spheres.
Exactly. And that wraps up the celebratory CatPick Fridays, episode number 51. So, though, as I mentioned, it's technically 55 or 6 episodes already. I don't know. Who cares about the numbers? Thank you so much for watching and listening. And thank you for the first year of CatPick Fridays. Here's to the second one with the remaining sip of water I have. Mm-hmm. Cheers. I try to make it the loud sound when I put my mug back on the table.
Yeah, I also made a really weird and disgusting noise with my lips. So you can choose whether or not you want to keep that in.
Yeah. I got some noise gates in my audio processing chain. Maybe
Thank
it will
goodness
mute
for noise
those
gates. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But there you go. That's a wrap for this week. We'll be back next week. Unless the things we predicted happen. We're predicting some sort of doom over our heads every week. I don't know where I'm going with this. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and so on. Ways to support what we do in the show notes as well. Have a great weekend. And as we do here on CatPick Fridays, bye podcast.
Bye podcast.